Welcome back to episode 115 of Talking Lead. I'm your host, Zeke Stout. No, wait. I'm left hand. I forget who I am sometimes.
I forget who I am at least once a day.
And as you guys can hear, I've got my guest ready to go. We're going to have a good show. I've got Chad Enos from Kel-Tec. I always can't remember if you want me to say your name or not. Everybody knows you now, so.
Chad from Kel-Tec works.
Chad Enos from Kel-Tec.
God forbid I ever get another job, I'm still going to be Chad from Kel-Tec.
You're like typecast now, dude.
Yeah, I sound like I'm from another planet. Like Kel-Tec is a planet they just found recently.
I don't think Kel-Tec's ever going to let you go. I think you found a home for life there, brother.
I think so, too. I hope not. I love it here.
Shoot, you'll be owning that company here in the next couple of years, I'm sure.
Yeah, not so much.
Not so much.
This is George's baby, and I don't want that headache I see he has to go through all the time. So,
I think he's grooming you for it.
No.
You are a busy man. I mean, you are constantly on the go. It's hard to track you down and get you cornered to even, get a phone conversation going sometimes.
I apologize, but I spend a lot of my time in the middle of the desert where I have no cell service.
Or in the brush.
Yes, yeah. But
speaking of the brush, you've got a cool little trip coming up. Getting ready for your first hunt, right?
Well, this might be a bit of a scouting run because I'm not actually going out there to hunt, but I'm going out there to do a law enforcement class for a week with my friends over at High-Vis. They're putting on a High-Vis sites. They're putting on a.
So he just held up a High-Vis site package that nobody's going to be able to see because this is a radio show.
Right.
Well, but you're showing me, right?
You.
Okay.
Because I can see you. But yeah, High-Vis shooting systems. They're putting on a law enforcement class. They partnered with the state of Wyoming, so they're bringing in. I think it's up to about 8 or 9 different agencies are going to be coming in to do training. And so I'm just going to go out there to represent Kel-Tec because we're partnered with High-Vis. They build the sights for the PMR 30s now.
Oh, cool! I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they're amazing sites. So they invited me to come out. I'm gonna go out, bring all the toys, like you've seen in all the videos, and just let the guys, shoot our products, get some feedback from them, and maybe how we can help them out on the law enforcement side of things.
Very cool.
Just have a good time with those guys. It'll be real fun for me. I always get a kick out of training with guys like that, with pros like that. So
yeah. So are they going to be running any Kel-Tec product? Yeah,
there's going to be a pistol and carbine classes. That's the whole course. It's a week long, and in the middle of it, we have like a media day. So there's a bunch of sponsors involved in this. Vortex is involved, and Warren Scope Mounts, and just a whole bunch of other people will be out there representing. And so they'll get to shoot, the Kel-Tec firearms, and we'll also let them bring them into the training. So if they're running an AR, or if they're issued like a standard M4 type rifle, then, we'll let them shoot the RDB, for instance, to see if maybe that's something, in the future that these guys would prefer in their cruisers, since it's, it's more compact. It's easier for law enforcement in tight scenarios and stuff like that, but yet you still got a full length barrel in it. So, they've got their carbine barrel in there, so they're not losing any accuracy long, or any distance, or velocity or anything like that. So,
yeah, I tell you, you need to get Senior Team Leader Garcia to go down there with you. He can sell anybody on those things, man.
Yeah, he was initially supposed to come out for this thing, but his schedule got a little screwed up. He's not able to make it, but he is sending 2 super awesome guys for one of his units to come out and sort of train in lieu, of him being there. But we will do that eventually. We'll do a big training class where we bring in all of the U.S. CSOG assets, the truck, the dogs, and we'll do the whole dog and pony show and make it really awesome for the guys.
That's the invite I want to get right there.
Absolutely. Well, you're right down the street from us, so.
Yeah,
Anytime we do something like that, I'll try to keep you posted.
Okay, that'd be sweet. Yeah, just down the road.
Well, what? That's a hour and a half flight.
Flight. Yeah, I was gonna say it's like 9 hour drive. Uh,
It's not that bad.
Nine. Well, actually no, it's further than that. You're probably a 12 to 14
No,
hour drive.
not even close.
You don't think so?
Nope.
I'm gonna Google it right now.
Do it.
'Cause you're in Cocoa, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cocoa Beach.
Yes, sir. I feel like I drove up there in a lot less time than that.
Yeah, that's because you're all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
You might be right.
10 hours and 45 minutes. And actually, it'd be a little less than that because I just did Nashville to Cocoa Beach. I'm in Murfreesboro, so
Right.
about 10 hours.
Not to mention, I'd be doing some of that pre-workout probably now that you told me about it, and that might shave off an hour or two.
You might want to take some of that pre-workout before one of your next 3-gun matches.
Yeah, now you're talking. Well, yeah, I don't know. Does it help you focus?
It does actually.
No, is that cheating?
Is that banned in the world of 3-gun?
No.
Can you not what's the word?
What's the word? What do you mean?
Can't dope. That's it.
Oh yeah, no
doping allowed in 3-gun.
Negative. I don't think that's they don't consider that a narcotic, so it should be okay.
It's not an illegal substance.
Right.
Yeah. Now steroids are. They don't allow steroids in 3-gun, do they?
I don't think there's an actual rule against it, but have you seen 3-gun shooters? I just don't see Jerry, shoot steroids before he goes to a match.
I don't know. I mean,
or Darren Butler, or
Jerry's in great shape for a dude his age.
Oh, he sure is. He absolutely is.
No doubt.
Got eyes of an eagle too.
So what I was alluding to is your trip to Wyoming. You've actually got a hunt coming up this year, and this will be your first hunting endeavor or trip ever, right?
Ever. The last thing I killed was probably a pigeon when I was 10, and it was with the BB gun.
And you cried.
And I probably cried. Yeah. So I've got a good friend out in Wyoming, and he said, last time I was out there, he said, "Come on out anytime, and I'll put you on a big game hunt." And I was like, "All right." And he said he'd get me on an elk. So that would be my first kill. And I know there's probably a lot of hunters out there that are listening that would be pretty jealous.
There's one right here. I mean, for your first hunt ever, you're going out elk hunting. I mean, that's a hell of a game for your first. Your first. Hunt.
Yeah, it's a lot to take on. I mean, especially hunting with these guys who, they do this. They hunt year round, and they elk hunt every season, and they just. I mean, these guys are masters of this stuff, So I'll be learning from the best, but at the same time, there's gonna be a lot of pressure. It's like, if you go back to the 3-gun thing, it's like if you're going out shooting with Jerry, you want to bring your A game because you already know that he's just gonna dominate you. So that's kind of how I feel about the hunt. I don't want to do something stupid, step on a freaking twig or something right when the guy's got him, sighted in and all that stuff,
Yeah, then his head drops. He's like, "Why did we bring this guy?"
Exactly. Yeah, dude, did you just fart in my blind?
Do you not know, dude?
You know I wasn't allowed to do that.
Is that Drakkar Noir you're wearing?
Right. Right. Yeah. No, it'll be awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. But when I'm out there next week, we're gonna actually go up to the area that he goes to hunt the elk, and so I get to kind of see firsthand what I'm getting myself into.
Well, that's cool. So you get to scope the lay of the land a little bit beforehand.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, we're gonna do some salmon fishing and all kinds of cool stuff.
Oh hell yeah, man! That's gonna be a fun trip. Now,
I've never done anything like that, so this is all brand new to me.
Hell, you may start a new passion, man.
I'm sure I will. I mean, I know it's not cheap. I think that elk tag's probably about $1,100 or something.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
but
so
it tastes good.
Yeah, it is good. He actually, last time I was out there, he gave me some backstrap out of his freezer. Man,
Mm-hmm.
some of the best meat I've had.
Yeah. Grilled elk is just phenomenal.
Yeah, and these people that are, anti-hunting and stuff like that, they don't know what they're missing. They go to the grocery store and they buy what they think is good meat, and man, they just have no idea what they're missing.
They don't know what's good, do they?
No, whatever the grocery store gives them is what they eat.
Crazy people living these sheltered lives, going to the grocery store, relying on Kroger to feed them.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, that's all good and everything, but don't be an anti-hunter just because people shoot and kill animals to eat them. You know what I mean?
Just because it's not your bag, baby, don't hate.
That's right. You don't want to hunt, you don't have to.
Leave it to us.
Yeah.
we share.
Yeah.
Just ask.
Yeah, and they say it's inhumane, but they have no idea how these animals get slaughtered that end up on their tables.
Oh my God! Until HBO puts out a documentary about it.
Exactly.
And then they find out.
Exactly. But
so do you know what gun you're going to use?
Yeah, I'm probably most definitely going to use the RFB 24.
Hells yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to hit it with anything less than 308. And I'm pretty sure those guys out there wouldn't recommend anything else anyway.
Yeah.
They'll probably be running bolt guns, but I'm not going to be taking a shot out past 100 yards. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that, especially my first time.
Yeah.
So that RFB 24 is 308. 308 ammo these days is just unbelievable. And
well, they've got 308 hunting rounds too that they make.
Yeah, exactly. And with that 24-inch barrel, I should have plenty of knockdown power, even on a big.
Good Lord, yeah, you're gonna have plenty of knockdown power.
Yeah. So
they're gonna be jelly of the Kelly.
Yeah, and I want a good clean shot. I don't want to miss and have the thing suffer and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You might take one of those redesigned Gen 2 Kel-Tec Sub 2000s that we're going to talk about here in a little bit out there. That definitely would knock them down.
Yeah, there wouldn't be much meat left, but
yeah, patience, leadheads, patience. We'll get to that.
Yeah,
it's going to be hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to our jackwagon train, Gunny. Start that engine up, buddy.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the Talking Lead Jackwagon of the Week, so brace yourself, baby.
All right, so I'm going to let our guest go first this week on who our jackwagon is. All right, Chad, so who's your jackwagon this week?
My jackwagon of the week is Regal Theaters, and I'll tell you why. They are wanting now to,
because they charge $9 for a small Coke. Is
for a candy bar.
Yeah, $20 for a bag of popcorn. That alone qualifies them for the jackwagon train.
Yeah, that's already pretty inconvenient, correct?
Yes.
So what do a lot of people do is they go across the street to the dollar store and they put a bag of candy in their purse or their backpack or whatever. And apparently I've looked into that, and there's nothing illegal about that. It may be against policy, but there's nothing illegal about it. So
that's correct.
There's no reason for them to even, search you for something like that. But now, in light of the, violence of a select few complete psychopaths that have in recent years gone into theaters and shot the place up, they want to now check any and all bags for firearms, specifically firearms, and or other weapons, which is completely unconstitutional in my opinion. And they may, come up with their own policy on that. But again, it's not illegal to go into a mall with a concealed firearm on you. That's just mall policy. You'd have to check with your local law enforcement and your county and state and all that stuff where you are. But I know that down here, it's not illegal to have a concealed firearm in a movie theater.
Right.
So why in the world do they want to go after law-abiding citizens that have concealed weapon? Because I guarantee you, bad guys aren't just going to pay for a ticket and walk into a movie theater with a gun in their backpack or, in their purse or whatever, their fanny pack or whatever it may be. And every case that this has happened, the guy has gone in through the back exit door and walked in from the screen side and started shooting people up.
Yeah.
So it's just again, it's another way for people to be anti-gun, to express their anti-gun policies.
This is a way for the movie theaters to try to appease what they feel is the majority of the people's wishes out there, which is totally not representative of the majority of the Americans.
That's right. And I've heard the argument already that, well, it works for the airlines. We have TSA and this, that, and the other. Well, I tell you what, when movie theaters, it's already bad enough with movie theaters because nobody goes to the movies anymore unless you want that movie experience, because you can get the same movies at home these days. In fact, you can probably watch them on YouTube before they even come out in a lot of cases. But I do love the movie experience, and I'll go and I'll, not necessarily to show my support for one theater over another. I just go because I like the experience. But when they start running like a TSA operation for me to go see the latest movie, I'm not going to go. I promise you that. And the TSA checking you onto an aircraft is completely different than going into a movie theater. By them looking through people's bags is nothing more than helping anybody, and it's not keeping anybody safe.
Well, all this is an excuse for them to keep the snack burglars,
right?
The snack smugglers, not the smugglers. So they have to pay their highway robbery prices at their concession stands.
Yeah, that's part of it. And like you said, it's a PR move, to make people think that they're safe when they're not. This protectionist mentality drives me crazy.
Now, I will say this, and I'm not defending them one way or the other, but if somebody looks suspicious, I think they have every right to check that person. If somebody's got two backpacks, like this guy recently here in the Nashville thing, the guy had like two backpacks, and I don't know what else. He just looked suspicious. His actions made him a suspicious character, obviously.
Sure. Yeah.
I think at that point they have every right to question that person, or find out what's going on. Why are you bringing why you bring backpacks into the theater? You don't really need to bring a backpack into the theater.
Yeah. Well, that's
obviously they're smuggling snacks in, or they're up to something.
Sure. And that's understandable, and there's discretion to be used.
Yes.
But when you give a blanket rule, that covers everybody, that doesn't work for me, because first of all, I don't carry a firearm in a backpack ever. If I'm carrying a firearm, it's on my person. Right. And if I have to be frisked before I go into a movie, then it's just not worth it to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't care for that.
If you're afraid to go to the movies, you're probably going to the movies in the wrong neighborhood,
That's true. But at the same time, like you say, it is our innate right, to be able to defend ourselves. And if we want to carry firearms, we can carry firearms.
Sure.
Now, again, there are local, state laws, federal laws that you must abide by. So check. We're not attorneys, so check with your local.
Right. That is our disclaimer.
There's my disclaimer.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, if you know that a mall or a movie theater does, by policy does not allow firearms, just don't go there. Don't give up your right. Don't support them. Yeah, I mean, don't give up your right to protect yourself, just to go see a movie or buy a new pair of flip-flops or something,
Yeah, or go eat a nice, big, juicy, thick steak. That restaurant doesn't allow carry there.
Yeah, go to another one.
Don't patronize them by giving them your business, by giving your money. Your money. The only way we're going to get rules changed, or these people to change their minds or opinion, is hit them where it counts, which is where? The pocketbook.
Yeah, that's true. And again, like you said, these businesses it's their own private business. They have every right, to refuse service to whomever they feel. And I am all about that right. I think that is part of American freedom. And I think that
absolutely.
And I think that it's that it's great that people have that freedom. What bothers me is the lack of common sense and the lack of education. Like if you're going to, you want to ban firearms from being in your business. Well, when your business, somebody comes into your business and starts shooting up the place because it's a sitting duck zone, the first thing, have a guy with a what come out to save the day? A freaking guy with a gun,
The cook in the back with his butcher knife.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna call 911 and get a guy with a gun out there. So, if you're a business owner and you just so happen to listen to Talking Lead for whatever reason today,
you thought you were listening to We Like Shooting, but it just happened to be Talking Lead.
You thought you were listening to Media Matters or something like that, or NPR.
NPR,
yeah. Man, have some common sense. Like us concealed carry firearms people, we're not bad people, and there's a whole bunch of gun shows that happen all around the country that prove that.
You know what? You know what I want to know? I want to know what this gun show loophole is that everybody keeps saying needs to be changed and addressed. What loophole? What are they talking about?
I don't know, but I do know that what bothers them is the private sale. Like, in other words, if I had a Glock 19 and you needed a Glock 19 and I wanted to sell it because I needed to pay some bills, I don't like the fact that I can just hand you a gun and you hand me cash and walk away.
But there doesn't have to be a gun show for that.
Exactly, but they call it the gun show loop because it's another blanket statement. It's another one of those liberal terms that they use, to put a dark cloud over that whole industry.
Over a gun show, yeah. So what they're doing is they're saying there's this loophole at gun, and it's only at gun shows because that's what they're trying to elude and make people think. Okay, right. So here's my jackwagon. Are these politicians and media and just ignorant people that think that there's some sort of loophole associated with gun shows where illegal gun transactions are free to transpire there?
Yeah. And that's not where it happens. Where it happens is in government. Fast and Furious, ring a bell?
Right in plain sight, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Guns Across the Borders, Mike Detty, prime example, in his book.
What a good book.
And he actually rebranded it. It's now called Operation Wide Receiver.
Oh, nice.
So if you guys are looking for Mike Detty's book, Guns Across the Border, or it's Operation Wide Receiver now.
Yeah, go get that book. It's a good read.
Yeah, definitely. But, I was going to go a different route with my jackwagon, but since we got on that topic, and I don't think we've thrown them on there, I'm going to go ahead. That's my jackwagon, are people who think that that could be a fact to fight the myth too, couldn't it? That there's some man, I could go double ways with this one. So
you got a 2-for-1 today, bro.
Yeah, that's sweet. But no, I was reading an article about that the other day, and I'm like, what loophole are they talking about? And they don't ever specify. They just say the loophole.
I know.
It's like, okay, what loophole? What are you? Be specific. But that's all they say. Like, everybody's supposed to know what they're talking about.
Yeah. Well, see, what happens with these politicians is maybe some of them are uneducated on the topic, but even after they become educated on the topic, they still spit out that dumb crap, which tells me that they're probably already educated on the topic, but it just doesn't fit their agenda. Yeah. So they're going along with the whole anti-gun thing because, most of these politicians have private security. The guys at the top, they've got private security. Guys with guns protect them, Yeah,
just feet away from them.
Yeah. And in a lot of cases, we find out that several of these anti-gun politicians own firearms. And they're the first ones out there, in the front of the march, like, preaching the whole anti-gun thing. And I'll never tire of fighting the good fight, but man, it just gets so old after a while. Just trying to.
It's like you're going in circles.
It really is. It really is. They keep saying something super stupid. We keep coming back with common sense, and they can't get anywhere. So they just keep plugging away because they think they're gathering people. And I know in my state of Florida, it's selling firearms. It's selling ammunition, and more concealed carry permits are being issued each year. It's a huge percentage. It goes up. And there's a feeling, in the country, I believe, I think the pendulum's swinging back the other way, And people are starting to realize that these politicians, they don't know what they're talking about, or they're just flat out lying. And the more they lie, the more they're going to expose themselves over time, especially if us talking lead, obviously the NRA, they keep pushing the truth out there. People will pick up on it eventually.
Yeah. And that's where our responsibility comes in.
Sure.
Is when you hear someone say something ignorant, it's usually just that. It's they're ignorant of the facts. So if you calmly, rationally present the facts to them, then a lot of times they're willing to listen.
Yeah. And even if they're not willing to listen and they are, rabid liberals, at least you're planting a seed, because I've actually seen some pretty far left-leaning people, come back to the table and be like, all right, they've dropped their ego for a second. They dropped their agenda for a second. And they're like, okay, so tell me about these guns. Will you take me to the range? And it's happened. I've taken people to the range that are very far left-leaning, and they get there, and, man, that really opens their eyes. Or I'll send them a video of a 3-gun match or something like that, and be like, look, firearms are not, firearms aren't for bad guys. We don't make guns for bad guys. We make guns for law-abiding American citizens to protect themselves, for sport, for hunting, for all these things. Yep. And the left is just going to continue to make guns seem bad, and they're not.
They're making guns out to be something other than inanimate objects.
That's right. Yeah,
they're making them out to be living, breathing, thinking beings.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So we just got to keep fighting a good fight. I know it kind of grinds on me, so I'm sure it probably grinds on a lot of people, but.
But that's why we've got so many of us, and if we all team together, then, you can take a break and I can pick up, where you leave off, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Like Moms Demand Action. You know what? If you know a Moms Demand Action supporter, take that person to the range.
or just smack them.
Please. Well, smack them and then take them to the range.
And then take them to the range. What it boils down to is fear of the unknown for a lot of these people. I'm not going to say every one of them, but for a lot of them, it's fear of the unknown. And if you properly educate them and you do it in a non, threatening way or environment, then usually those people are going to come around, and they may not agree with it, but they're going to understand your side of it more.
That's exactly right. Yep. Good point.
Like you said, plant seeds, one seed at a time.
That's right. Yeah. And we don't promote violence. I mean, that's another big myth. Gun owners do not promote violence. In fact, we are anti-violence, and that's the reason that we carry firearms in a lot of cases. Especially in the self-defense role,
it's to suppress or prevent other people's violence.
That's exactly right. So
good points.
Anyway,
it's speaking of 3-gun.
Yeah.
Didn't you just get back from a competition?
I did. Myself and my teammates, we went out to the Rocky Mountain 3-gun match out in New Mexico last week.
Nice.
Oh man, it was amazing,
dude. You were getting to see some of the most beautiful parts of our country.
Oh yeah. And if any of you, are friends of mine on Facebook, you'll see the pictures and stuff I posted up. Yeah, it's just beautiful out there. I mean, you just point your phone at something and take a picture, and it's a postcard.
Yeah.
You don't have to edit it. You don't have to frame it. It's get the perfect framing. Yeah, it's just so gorgeous out there. But and I'm blessed, man, to be able to go do this kind of stuff, and the support of Kel-Tec and George Kelgren, Derek, and then of course all of our sponsors. We get to go do some stuff that probably makes a lot of people jealous. But it's
this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you get to do cool stuff. I've seen you at these events.
Oh, yeah. I'm not complaining.
It's awesome, man. It's a blessing. That particular match, I've been to it before, and 2 of our guys had been, and they were going on and on about how amazing it was. And they talked it up a lot, so I had big expectations, and the match itself and all the people out there completely exceeded my expectations. Like, it was even better than my exaggerating friend could put it. if that makes any sense. So
It does, yeah.
yeah, it was such a good time.
So have you got one of those friends that always has to one up you? It's
Well,
like
he
you
doesn't
tell a
try to one up.
story, and then he's got it. Oh, let me tell you this one.
No. Hammer, he loves to pump you up. I mean, you'll see him here at Rock Castle here this weekend.
Okay.
And, hopefully you can get him on the show and talk to him a little bit.
Is that gonna be Danny or Hammer?
Danny and Hammer. But
which one's the embellisher?
Well, let's not call him an embellisher.
Okay.
Let's just say that he gets super excited and it gets everybody else excited.
Okay. What's the word? There's a word for that. He is
It's not much of it. Well, I guess he doesn't exaggerate. I exaggerate.
He's an exuberator.
That's a really good word. Yes. He's a very exuberant person.
There we go. Boom.
Yeah. The more that we get some footage of the 3-gun team at these matches and the more interviews and stuff we do, you'll get to know their characters as well. And I tell you what, the 4 of us, you could do an entire reality show on us and you would never be bored. It is just nonstop.
Well, there you go. I think you guys maybe should start that.
Well, we are going to start filming the matches. We just got some nice cameras and stuff, and we got a guy that can edit everything up for us. So we'll start doing that now that we got nice jerseys and we're getting better at this. And
yeah, you showed me your jersey. I like that, man. I want to get one of those. I told you that I am now. You know how people collect football jerseys? I'm going to start collecting 3-gun jerseys.
It's a good idea. I like it.
Yeah. So
I like it a lot.
My first one being obviously the 3-gunner that I'm sponsoring, Casey Griggs, in conjunction with some other people in Troy Industries.
Nice.
We'll be releasing photos of that jersey this week because that's where I'm going. I'm going up to the Rock Castle 3-gun competition. It's not Brownells anymore, is it? It's just Rock Castle, isn't it?
No, I think it's Brownells.
Because I went to their site and it didn't say Brownells. It said Rock Castle 3-gun. And then they've got all these sponsors. And I think Brownells is amongst them.
Huh.
I think I went to Brownell's site too, and I didn't see anything about it on Brownell's site.
Let me see here. I doubt they would pull out of that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they pulled out. I just don't know that they're like
they're not the title sponsor.
I think it's Rock Castle now. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'll find out when I get up there Saturday.
Well, it's always been called the Rock Castle Pro-Am.
Okay.
But no, Brownells is still in there. But it looks like maybe Double Star and Adams Arms are the title sponsors. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I just talked with Kat. Do you know Kat from Adams Arms?
No, I don't. I love their stuff though, and I've got friends here that are friends with some of those guys, but I have yet to meet anybody.
Okay. Well, I'll have to introduce you. She's really cool.
Awesome.
Very
yeah,
cool.
That's one of the things I really love about my job here is being able to connect with people at other companies and talk shop and take care of each other and stuff. Because fortunately, how that's like one of the best parts of my job because we don't make firearms that are necessarily a direct competitor of all of your favorite AR companies and other manufacturers because we build such unique stuff that it's just a completely different platform. And so we're able to, support each other.
Yeah.
So I've got friends at Smith & Wesson. I love Smith & Wesson. I love their products. Got a lot of great friends there. So I promote them a lot. I've got friends over at Midwest Industries. They're putting out some amazing ARs now too. So, it's just cool to be able to say that kind of stuff. Because if you were talking right now to somebody from Smith & Wesson, they would never tell you that Midwest Industries makes awesome ARs because they can't. That's a direct competitor.
Yeah. Well, Midwest is one of those companies, like a lot of these AR companies that are making ARs now. They started off as making parts and components, right?
Yeah.
They weren't always a full rifle manufacturer.
No, they just started doing that relatively. I think it's pretty recently. I got one of their ARs, and I mean, this thing is it's solid, man. Solid gun. And
now, do you run solely Kel-Tec in your 3-gun matches, or do you run some other like ARs and
No, I run our RDB, which is coming out real soon. In fact, I think we're going to start shipping those next week, as early as next week.
Yeah. Is my name on that list? Is that gonna follow up with my sub 2000?
I can't believe you haven't gotten that thing yet. I submitted that. I'm gonna re-up on that tomorrow. While I'm at the airport.
I haven't called the. I don't know that it shipped, so I haven't called the FFL.
Oh, it may have.
Okay, because you said you were gonna let me know when it shipped, and then
I got stuck in the middle of the desert.
Then you're in New Mexico taking pictures and selfies. And
Priorities, man. So what I was saying is I run the RDB, which is our 5.56 bullpup.
Right.
A Benelli M2.
I got to shoot that at the little what was that IV-88 thing we went to. You had the prototype out there.
Yep.
Man, that thing was smooth. I loved it.
Man, it is such a fun gun. We're having a good time competing with it, which is cool because it's also a test bed. We've been running it for about a year and a half now to get the gun into final production.
Yeah. Have you had any major problems with it?
Not major problems. We've had minor problems, like in the first probably 3 or 4 months. Just trying to tweak the gun down to its production version, and since then. I think we finalized all the parts and stuff good probably 5 months ago. And then since then, they've just been working on programming, getting all the tooling ready, getting all the employees here in the machine shop ready to start doing getting the parts going. So they've been building parts for probably 3 or 4 months now on the final production version. So yeah, we're ready to go. On the production on that, last week we were just waiting for manuals and boxes. So yeah, we're ready to rock and start getting these things going, shipping them out.
Heck yeah, man. So you had a good, the platform is what's the main difference between the RDB and the RFB? I mean, other than the caliber, I understand that, but what other differences lie in those rifles?
I'll tell you, their only similarities are their bullpups, and they have an adjustable short stroke gas piston system. That's the only thing about the gun that they have in common. And the top rail of the gun is a standard 1913. But that's it. The barrel lengths are different, and the overall length of the guns are pretty much the same. But the RDB is much narrower and lighter, and they're both pretty balanced, but it's just a lot lighter, obviously, because it's a 5.56 opposed to a 308 barrel.
Right, and you want a 308 to be heavier.
Yeah, and that RFB, that's actually what I ran in the Rocky Mountain 3 gun. I shot in the heavy division, and had some pretty good successes with that. It was a tough match, so it had nothing to do with the gun. It was everything to do with me, my stamina, and all that stuff. Where my failures happened. But
I'm telling you, man, get you some stimulate.
I know, right? I might have to look into that. I think you're onto something there.
I'm not. Really not.
Yeah, and then I went to battle with a plate with my pistol, and I don't know, man. It's stuff like that happens.
Yeah, so that was in the Rocky Mountain?
Yeah, yep.
So tell us about that match. Is it you do, how many matches would you say you do a year? And I know you're not the norm because you've got a full-time job that you do as well. Yeah,
not enough is the answer. It's because it is an addiction, and for anybody listening, they know that 3-gun is an addiction, and it's probably broken up a few marriages here and there. But
as most addictions usually do.
Yeah, but it is a good addiction if you keep it in check. Fortunately for us, we've got a great company, Kel-Tec, backing us, and we, although we do have full-time jobs, they do let us shoot quite a few major matches a year. So I think we probably shoot about 5 or 6 major matches a year, and then every single weekend, Saturday and sometimes both Saturday and Sunday, we shoot a local match somewhere or a regional match.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So what makes the Rocky Mountain one? What set it apart from other ones that you've shot?
Well, you've been to the Rock Castle match. So it's very similar to that, but more spread out. Like the stages, I want to say are a little bit longer, maybe. Like for instance, there was a shotgun stage. It was only shotgun, and there were 41 targets.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's a lot of that's almost 2 boxes of ammo on you.
That's a lot of kick, isn't it?
Here's a
shoulder.
Here's a hilarious fun fact. Okay, so at the end of the stage, you're basically working your way, shooting targets both left and right. There's poppers, there's things flying, there's little square things you got to hit. There's there was a Texas Star. I mean, they threw everything at you. And by the end of it, there's 3 clays that are on this clay rack, and you have to activate it. And when you activate it, it swings left and right. And you're probably about maybe 10 yards away from it. Super easy to hit these 3 clays, right? Well, when they swing back and forth.
So you say.
What's that?
I said, so you say.
Yeah.
It's super easy.
So,
yeah.
As they're swinging on the left side, if you're facing them to the left, they go behind this big drum, with big garbage can, basically. They go behind it, so they're hidden for a split second, and you've got to pop them as they come back out. Well, I got the first 2, and on the third one, I was holding the gun up, and as it was going over, I could no longer hold the gun up because my shoulder just was.
It gave out.
I couldn't hold my shotgun up, so I actually shot the barrel. I mean, I put a shotgun round right into the freaking barrel.
That's got to be a penalty, right?
Well, no, but because I didn't hit the clay, and I couldn't re-engage. I had more ammo in my gun, but I could not even lift the gun up to re-engage it to hit that clay. So I just said, "Forget it, I'm done," and I took the penalty.
So that goes back to other segments that we've had in the show, is that your physical fitness levels come into play a lot.
Absolutely.
with sporting gun sporting events. Not only that, but just in self-defense itself. Because you can fatigue because your adrenaline's going so much, especially in these competitions. I can only imagine. I mean, it's just like any other sport that you would do. Your adrenaline elevations are through the roof.
Absolutely. One stage at a major 3-gun match can completely zap all of your energy. And fortunately at these big matches, there's plenty of time in between stages, so you get to recoup.
Yeah.
But, going back to what you said about, personal defense, self-defense scenarios, and you get that adrenaline dump like that, you better be in decent shape, because if you have to fight off an attacker for, more than a minute is an eternity in a scenario like that. So make sure you've got plenty of wind to fight somebody off like that.
And who's to say you're not going to have to fight off 2, 3, 4, 5?
That's right. Yeah.
You deal with one, then you got to deal with another one. You got to deal with another one.
Yep. And I tell you what,
your adrenaline's only going to take you so far.
Yeah. And in getting in better shape for scenarios like that is also going to help you with your tunnel vision too, believe it or not.
Right.
I've learned that shooting competition, because you're allowed to come up with a game plan, and you can walk the stage, and you get about 5 to 7 minutes, which is plenty of time to walk through a stage of course of fire and figure out how you're going to shoot it the most efficient. But you can come up with a game plan all day long, but as soon as that timer goes off, that tunnel vision kicks right in. And so with competition, the more you do it, and it's the same thing with training, the more you do it, the more you hear it all the time. You'll hear military and law enforcement guys say they just relied on their training. And that's because it's repetition. Yeah, they're doing it over and over again. So that really pulls that tunnel vision back quite a bit, and it helps you out. So, if you're not training a lot, get out there and do it. And I highly recommend doing, competitive sports. And it doesn't have to be 3-gun. It can just be a local pistol match or something like that. Get out there and practice, because that may, in fact, save your life someday.
Absolutely. And that'll be a good segue for our Sonoran Desert Institute Fact to Fight the Myth this week. Zeke, introduce it for us.
SDI is proud to present the Talking Lead Fact to Fight the Myth.
Chad, so you've got a good fact to fight the myth for us, and it's obviously 3-gun related, because that's kind of our topic today. And,
yes, I do.
And I consider you a pro. Are you pro status now with the 3-gun?
That is, I'm dying laughing inside.
Come on, dude.
I wouldn't say I'm pro. I'd say that I'm a spoiled amateur.
A spoiled amateur. You
Yeah.
should be pro. You should shoot pro because you're good. You are really good.
I have no excuse for the way that I shoot because it's just my fault. I don't get to practice a whole lot. I do spend a lot of time at work and a lot of time traveling, but I could make time. I just don't. And that's just part of my laziness. I should be a lot better than I am for as long as I've been doing it. But I mean, myself and my teammates, we've had some pretty good successes. I mean, we've shot up against a lot of pros before, and we haven't beat a whole lot of them yet. But we're getting there with more experience.
That's a question I want to ask you after you do the fact to fight the myth. I'll ask you this question.
All right. So my fact to fight the myth is professional shooters. We see them shooting these 3-gun matches on YouTube and stuff, and occasionally you'll see them put up a video where they've completely fallen flat on their face.
That's rare.
It is rare, and the myth is that these pros never lose to amateurs, and that's just simply not true. Here's a quick story going back to the Rocky Mountain 3-gun. There was a stage where they had a Texas Star, and it was 6 boxes. You had to leave at least two targets for each gun, and it was a shotgun pistol stage. So I ran all my shotgun first, worked my way from one end to the other, grabbed my pistol, and started working my way back and got to that Texas Star. Well, I left 2 plates on that star. They're about 10 inches round, and the plates were maybe 15 yards in front of me, maybe even 12 yards, not that far at all. Super easy shot, right? So I cleaned off 1 plate with 1 round, no problem. I went to battle on a 10-inch plate that was 12 yards away from me for 40 seconds. I had to do a mag change.
With your shotgun?
No, with my pistol.
With your pistol, okay.
Yeah. And before that, I was shooting clays. I had to leave some clays out there that were at 20-plus yards, and I could hit those 1 shot, no problem. Got my sight picture, pulled the trigger, boom, clay was gone, no problem. So I'm going to battle with this 1 plate on this Texas Star, did a mag change, and I wasted at least 40 seconds standing there, which is half the time it takes to shoot the entire stage, right?
Oh, my God.
So I skip it, right? I move on, go to the other 2 boxes that I had left. I finish my targets off there. I come back and fire another 4 or 5 rounds at this plate and still don't hit it, so I just call it. I'm like, all right, I'm done. Whatever my time is, I'm taking the penalty again, right?
Yeah.
Well, the plate, as it turns out, if I'd have just left it, fired 1 round at it or 2 rounds at it and missed and left it, it would have been 10 seconds.
Oh.
So I more than quadrupled my time going to battle on this 1 target. So I felt like, you know what? Total rookie move, amateur move. I should have known better. Again, going back to adrenaline and tunnel vision, I refused to let that target stand, and I went to battle with it, which a professional would never do. So I thought. Now, I felt
not so fast, my friend.
Yeah, so I thought, well, pros would just move on. Well, somebody sent me a video of Jerry. Jerry Mitchell. Yeah. And I forget what match it was, but he went to a battle at a 200-yard target with his rifle, and he dumped over 30 rounds on 1 target. He went to battle with this target over 30 rounds. And as you know, Jerry probably doesn't even need a scope to hit something at 200 yards.
Right.
But he could not hit this target to save his life. As it turns out, something was malfunctioning with his scope or his mount or something like that. But he went to battle on a target that took over 30 rounds, and it was also a 10-second target. All he needed to do was just skip it after 5 rounds.
Take the 10 and go.
That's right. And so I learned that pros aren't perfect either. Even a guy like Jerry who spent all those rounds trying to hit that 1 plate, when he knew in the back of his mind that was only a 10-second target, and he probably wasted a good 20 seconds on it.
It's like that movie. Did you ever see Tin Cup?
Yes.
Kevin Costner.
That's what it is, the 10 cup moment.
I think at that point it comes down to the shooter and the target, and now it's become personal. And they're like, you know what? I'm going to make this shot. I don't care what it costs me. It may cost me the PGA Tour, but I'm going to make this shot.
That is exactly right. And what really sucks is when you put your mind to that, you've dedicated yourself to that, you've had that 10 cup moment, and you still leave the target standing and you never hit it.
Right. It's just like it's like being unsatisfied. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like taking those 12 shots like you did into the water and still never draining the putt.
Yeah.
It's just insult to injury at that point.
Yeah. Well, that's a good fact to fight the myth. And it played in very nicely with our topic. Good job, Chad.
Hey, that's what I'm here for.
You think you've been on this show before or something. I don't get it.
That's why you guys pay me the big bucks.
That's right. SDI's 32 semester credit hour certificate program in gunsmithing and 60 credit hour Associate of Science in Firearms Technology degree program can work hand in hand and are the most complete training programs of their kind. SDI strives to give you the best quantity and quality of professional gunsmithing information and tools. These programs are perfect for students interested in careers in the firearms industry or for those who are interested in owning their own gunsmithing business. Our programs are delivered via distance learning, which allows our students to maintain full-time jobs, families, military service, and more while working towards their degree or certificate. The Sonoran Desert Institute mission is adding value to our students' lives by providing innovative, relevant, and applicable workplace-driven education through distance-delivered instructions. Visit them at sdi.edu. So the question that I was going to ask you, and I got to remember what the hell it was now.
I tend to ramble. I'm sorry.
No, that's perfect. That's what we do on this show. You know, it's talking lead, aka rambling lead. At what point do either you declare yourself or they make you move from amateur status to pro status?
Well, in most matches, you can sign up for either or. Like this Rockcastle match is a pro-am match. So if there's the option, you can shoot on the amateur side. At Rocky Mountain 3-Gun, there is no pro or amateur. You just show up and shoot. And so you're shooting against pros in your division.
Right. So it's not like, and I'll use golf again as an example, you know, you have to earn your PGA card to go pro status.
No,
so
it's not.
There's nothing like that.
Well, I think there is when it comes to, well, maybe not, but I could be wrong on this, but I know that you do have to do, you have to take qualifiers for the 3-Gun Nation. Like there's different qualifiers for different things. So yeah, you can rank. Same thing in USPSA. You can take a qualifier and you move up the ranks. Now, I don't know if that technically has anything to do with being able to enter, like, say, 3-Gun Nation shoot-off or something like that. I mean, I'm pretty sure in that scenario you have to shoot your way to earn that. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if there's any, like, card or prerequisite like that to even get involved in the, to work your way to the shoot-off. I don't know. I'm not that level yet, so I don't know.
Okay.
But
I was just curious about how that, because like Jerry, like you said, if Jerry went to the Rockcastle shoot and he went amateur status, I'm sure there's a lot of amateurs that'd be saying, "This is bullshit, man. No way. There's no way Jerry needs to be down here shooting."
Well, I tell you what, Rockcastle,
and he wouldn't do that. I mean,
no, that's called sandbagging, and he would never do that. Yeah. But the cool thing is that the way Rockcastle sets up that match is the amateur prizes, they're not given based on what place you get in the match. They're random. It's like a random drawing. So if I were an amateur and I shot in that match as an amateur and Jerry shot as an amateur and ended up on my squad, I get to shoot with Jerry for 2 days. That's awesome.
That would be awesome, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, imagine what your squad would learn just from watching him. I mean, that's like a free class. Well, not free class, but it costs the price of entering the match. We'd be able to shoot with Jerry for a couple days. So yeah. I would welcome that.
Yeah, and that's another thing, too. That's another myth is that these pros that shoot these competitions aren't willing to share their knowledge with amateurs or up-and-coming guys. It's quite the opposite of that, isn't it?
Absolutely. In fact, at what year was that? It was 2 years ago at Task Force Dagger. There was a girl on a squad whose rifle went down. So another competitor, a direct competitor, let her use his rifle for the rest of the match, which was a big deal because I think her rifle went down on like the first or second stage. And, out of 9 stages and 3 days of shooting, he shared his rifle with her. Well, at the end of the match, he gave it to her.
Oh, wow.
We're talking probably a $3,000 rifle with a $2,000 to $3,000 scope on it. He just gave it to her. And that right there is the epitome of the shooting sports in general, but especially 3-gun. If you need something out there, these pros and even other amateurs, they're going to help you out. You know, if you need ammo, you run out of ammo. Like I let a guy at this last match in Rocky Mountain, I let him use my backbone, which is made by Carbon Arms that holds shot shells. They're very expensive. And I didn't know this guy from Adam. He just, you know, came up on the squad behind me at the shotgun stage. He realized he didn't have enough real estate to put his ammo. And I was like, bro, just use my backbone and catch up with me on the next stage. Cool. So I let him use my backbone. Sure enough, he shot the stage, did really well apparently because he was in the shoot off, and then caught up with me on the next stage and gave me my backbone back, no questions. You know, so
yeah,
that's how it goes in 3-gun. It's a really awesome community, and everybody's there to help each other out.
Yeah, I know I had a really good time last year when I was up at Rock Castle, and I'm really looking forward to going again this weekend. And just I'm going to have a little better understanding of what's going on this time. I was clueless when I was up there last year.
You'll enjoy it. The more you learn about it, the more you'll enjoy it too. And that goes the same. That's the same for competitors in that sport. The more you know, and the more you can watch on YouTube. This friend of mine, a guy that I met who's since become a really good friend of mine, Jansen Jones. He works for Freedom Munitions. He used to be on the Noveski shooting team. He sort of got me started. And the best advice he gave me was to just keep going on YouTube and keep watching matches. Watch the pros. Watch everything they do. You know, everything from their stage breakdown to the equipment that they're using to the way they load their guns, all that stuff. And it was a huge help. So if you're, you know, for people out there that are wanting to get into competitive shooting, go watch the pros on YouTube. It's free.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a great tool to go and get you familiarized with the whole sport in general, and see if it's something that you want to take to the next level. Now, I'm still chicken shit. I haven't done a 3-gun yet. I want to. I'm using my eye as my excuse. I keep planning on. I've got a cataract in my left eye.
Are you left eye dominant?
I'm right eye dominant, so it's just like, I mean, it's perfect. Actually, it would work as an advantage to me. I would think. Yeah. I would think, but I'm using it as an excuse not to do competitions yet. But
well, here's another myth.
That's just because I'm scared. You know, it's fear. It's fear of the unknown.
Yeah. Well, I would love to be there for your first match if you don't mind. I'd love to squad up with you, and I'll help you out as much as possible. I'm one of those guys that's really good at coaching, but not very good at actually doing it.
Listen to what I say. Don't do what I do.
Right. Yeah. Like I can
not what I do.
I can break down a stage for somebody else like nobody's business, and I can help you with equipment and all that stuff. But you know, if you dedicate yourself to it, man, you can get good at it really quick, especially if you have people to help you out.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping to get some good advice and motivation when I go up there this week. Not that I'm going to be competing against my own guy I'm sponsoring, because I'm not.
Here's another quick point I wanted to make about competitive shooting versus, we were just talking about a little while ago, the defensive stuff. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that refuse to shoot competition because they're afraid they're going to get bad habits. And that can be true, but it's not necessarily completely true, because it's not necessarily true in every case. I mean, every time you get in trigger time, you're drawing your gun, acquiring your sights, you know, putting a minimum of 2 rounds on target accurately and quickly. I mean, that is really good for sight picture, sight alignment, and getting yourself acclimated to drawing that gun, getting on target, and popping rounds real quick. And in a defensive scenario, that's exactly what you wanted to do. And now there is the fight or not fight scenario. Mm-hmm. So we also have that in competition. We've got no shoots out there. There's always no shoots. Well, not always, but there's a lot of no shoots in these matches. So when you draw your gun, you have to be very careful at what you're shooting at. So you're not just spraying and praying rounds.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize they did that.
Yeah, and a lot of times we use barricades. There's these matches can be really tough, and some of them are very tactical.
Yes.
But in general, yes.
Now, isn't there a specific tactical division?
Well, no. Usually it's an entire match. Like if some matches are called TAC 3 guns, and those are matches where You want to
get my terminology. It's called a match. Okay.
Yeah. Well, there's different divisions, and one of the divisions is called TAC Scope or TAC Ops, which doesn't necessarily have anything to do with it being tactical. That's just what they called it back in the day, and it's just carried through. Yeah, and I think Three Gun Nation has since changed. I don't know what the new vernacular is, but it's a little different. But my point is, you still sort of have to separate your training, your defensive training, from your competitive shooting, because in the competitive sports, you're probably going to be using, once you get into it a little further, you're going to be using tricked out guns, and like I said, you're basically racing for time. But within that, you're getting good trigger time, you're getting the fundamentals down quickly, which is all good. So you can actually take your 3-gun training into, as far as your trigger control, sight alignment, sight picture, and speed and all that stuff, you can take that into your tactical training world. And then from there, use tactics like, conceal and cover, shooting with, partners, or, having to cover somebody or something like that, or shooting out of vehicles. All that stuff comes into play. So, and vice versa. You can't discredit one and go all in on the other. I highly recommend guys that love to shoot tactically, get into some sort of shooting sport and get yourself under that pressure of competing with other people.
Anytime you're out shooting live rounds, it's going to be beneficial to you.
It's better than not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, hey, there's another great Sonoran Desert Institute fact to fight the myth.
There you go.
When's your next 3-gun competition coming up?
The next one, I'm not sure, because I got to go out to Wyoming next week. I just now got an email that there's a 3-gun match here locally that I'm going to be missing, and I hate missing this match. But the next major one, I'm not sure. I would love to be at Rock Castle, but unfortunately I can't make it this year. But we are sending a couple of guys from Kel-Tec up there to come hang out with you and shoot the match and have a good time.
Right. So I'm planning on, instead of recording the show like I did last year from up there, I'm actually going to do some video. So I'm going to get some YouTube footage.
Oh,
so
great.
I plan on hooking up with Hammer and Danny and getting them on camera.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You guys will have a good time. That's the one thing about that match is, there's camaraderie at all of them, but when you're at the Rock and you're at the hotel there, the facility there and everything, everyone's gathered. It's concentrated into one place.
Yeah.
So you really get some good camaraderie at that match, and I think that's the biggest draw about that particular match.
Yeah. Well,
the match is fun. The stages are awesome. They always do a good job with that.
This thing's so big. People are having to stay. They don't have enough rooms there. Yeah.
Yes. There's 600 competitors in that match.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. They started.
Awesome. It's great for the amateurs. They get to rub elbows with pros, and and then the pros all get to. They all pretty much congregate there, so they all get to catch up with each other, and it's just a good time, man. A lot of food, a lot of music, a lot of talking lead.
Yeah. The good thing about it too is you see a lot of disabled people in wheelchairs and what. They have a disabled division, right? Or
I don't know if it's necessarily a division, but a lot of those guys are shooting in the military or law enforcement side.
Let me see. Who's this one guy that came? He's with Smith & Wesson now.
Oh, he's awesome. That guy can shoot, man.
Trevor Baucom.
Yep. Yeah.
Trevor Baucom with Smith & Wesson.
Yep. He's awesome. What a great guy. What an awesome attitude.
I'm looking forward to meeting him. Julie with Troy's going to introduce me to him.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully I'll get some good footage of him too.
There's a lot of guys. A lot of our ex-military guys that got injured overseas, they've come home and they've actually embraced the shooting sports, in particular 3-gun, as a way to cope with stuff sometimes, Yeah,
it's a good release for them.
Yeah, there's a guy that we just shot with over the weekend. He's got I don't know if he wants me to name his name, so I won't, but he's got one leg and one eye, and he shoots. He crushed that match. Completely annihilated it. But James is one of our war vets and an absolute badass. And he shot, just as an example, he shot this pistol stage. The fastest guy on our squad shot it in like 121. that was his final time on that stage, and he shot it clean. James went through and shot that stage in 79.
Wow.
With one eye and one leg.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, so for, when I hear myself whining or other guys whining that they didn't have a good stage, it's just like, you know what? You got to think about these guys, man, that have adapted and overcome huge obstacles, and they're just killing it out there. So, yeah, I mean, these guys they're heroes, man. They're literally living heroes.
So you don't know when your next 3-gun is, but it's coming up sooner than later, obviously. Yeah, hopefully. Now, are you going to the IV-888 shoot?
Yeah, we're planning on it. Okay. Are you going there? I was going to ask you that earlier.
Hells yeah. Okay,
cool. And the bullpup shoot, I don't have any information on that yet, but I guess we'll be doing that too with John Percival, Sergeant P.
Okay. So don't know where it is this year?
Don't know yet, but when I find out.
Yeah, let me know. That would be awesome.
This year, I think, is going to be the biggest and best one so far, because I'm going to try to drag all of our sponsors into it and make it a much bigger and better event than last time.
Is that are y'all like one of the main sponsors of that? I can only imagine you would be.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I'm going to help them out with trying to get more people, more companies involved, so that the people that come out there will walk away with some pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah. All right, so now it's time for our trivia. And if you guys remember last week, we had my buddy Mike Centola on with All-Star Tactical. Do you know Mike?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Centola?
Mike's the man. I love that guy.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
Awesome. I just did his show not too long, maybe a couple weeks ago.
Crash and Burn?
Yes, sir.
So this trivia question is related to a Crash and Burn YouTube video that Mike did, and he was doing trick loading your shotgun is the name of the video.
Uh-huh.
So in the video, so the way it started was there was another guy that actually he like threw a shell up and he loaded his shotgun with it, without touching it. He just threw it up, like Tiger Woods will do with his trick.
Yeah, he threw it up in the air. It landed in the port. He pulled the pump forward and fired it. Yeah,
did just like that. Yeah, and it was seamless. So Centola's like, I can do that. No problem. So he does this video, and
he was did he throw it.
he was serious when he first started doing this video because he's like, this can't be that hard.
Right.
So in doing it, he found out that it was actually really hard, almost impossible. Mm-hmm. And the only ones now there's probably more attempts than what they did on video, but it took him. The question is, how many times did Mike attempt to trick load his Mossberg?
On video.
On the video, yeah. In this video, it's called Trick Loading Your Shotgun. And the answer was 9, and we would have accepted 10 because at the very end, he throws the Mossberg down and he throws the shell at it. So we'll count that as 10 because some people were counting 10. And our winner this week is Eric Meyer. Eric, congratulations. You win the All-Star Tactical package of stickers, the snake oil lube, the T-shirt, and
one of our sponsors.
Oh, All-Star is?
Heck yeah. Snake Oil Prime, baby.
Snake Oil Prime, and a cool muzzle brake, one of their cool muzzle brakes.
Yeah, oh man, that's a killer gift package.
It is. That
muzzle brake works great. Well, everything he makes is pretty sweet, so that's a really good prize package right there, just for that alone.
Yeah. So Eric, shoot me your contact info, and we'll make sure that we get you in touch with Mike. So this week, Chad has a really tough one for you guys.
Yeah.
And it is related to, and this is what we were alluding to earlier, Kel-Tec, even though they just came out with it, and I haven't got mine yet, but the Gen 2 Sub-2000s, they've come out with some interesting calibers. Chad, tell us about this video. Okay.
So a few months ago, I went out to California to film a commercial for the RDB, the KSG, and the P3AT. And while we were out there, I did an announcement video on the Gen 2 Sub-2000. In that video, I explain I explain what calibers the gun's going to come in. If you can name those 2 calibers besides 9mm and 40 cal, then you will win a prize pack from Kel-Tec that will include a hat, t-shirt, safety glasses, and a whole bunch of other swag bag in the bag. So
sweet.
You tell me what those 2 calibers are, and you win.
There you go. And to see that video, you need to go to Kel-Tec's YouTube channel.
Yes.
So as always, the other parts of this are not only do you have to get the right answer, but you have to subscribe to Kel-Tec's YouTube channel. You have to like the video. And then you also have to go to their Facebook page, and you have to like their Facebook page.
Yes, please.
So
thank you in advance for your support.
There you go. There you go. Probably most of our guys, I'm sure everybody that listens to Talking Lead has already subscribed to your channel and everything. So awesome. That won't be any problem for those guys. So just get the right answer. And, man, that's going to be a sweet prize package too, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's going to be some really cool stuff in there. I have some stuff in there from our sponsors as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So is there anything else that we need to cover? Anything new Kel-Tec's got coming down the road you can talk about? Or
the CMR 30s are starting to ship more. I know everybody out there has been looking for them. Okay. The sub 2000s, the Gen 2s, we're cranking those things out. So be on the lookout for those. I know people have been looking for that as well. We've also got some new variants of the sub 2000 coming up, which I think are going to make. I can't announce it, I don't think, just yet.
Ooh.
But yeah, got some new variants that are popular. And we're real close to getting those into production and getting those out the door too. So just be looking out for that.
And when you say variant, is that like a color variant that we're talking about?
Well, colors and also
maybe
compatible pistols.
Oh, okay. I got you.
So, we've got the Glock variant and the SIG variants and all that stuff. So we are going to be introducing a couple of new pistol variants here.
Okay, awesome.
And also the RDB. The rifle downward ejecting bullpup that you guys have been wanting, that is going to ship as
a 5.56, right?
Yeah. Like I said at the beginning of the show, we are extremely close, as in like within a week, to starting to ship those. So that's good news. We're real happy about that too.
Very sweet.
Yep.
So good stuff coming from Kel-Tec as always. You guys, I've said it before, and it's true. You're one of the most innovative firearms companies that are in our industry right now. And I really appreciate everything that you do, because you always push these other companies to think outside the box, and it just makes not only firearms, but the whole industry better. And the way that you guys do it, the way that you approach people, you're welcoming,
absolutely,
you're kind, you're considerate. You couldn't ask for a better group of people, and that goes company wide. I've not met anybody at Kel-Tec that wasn't the role model. They're just like you. I don't know how they do it, but I guess they use you as their poster boy when they're hiring people. It's like, all right, you got to act like him and be like him.
No,
you can't work for us.
It's just something in the water down here. We're down in Florida. We're laid back, man.
Yeah. Well, it does. It reflects back to the owner. You know how they say that in customer service, if you get a bad cut, then it's reflective of the people above them.
Sure. Yeah. George.
So the success.
Awesome. He's just an awesome human being. Absolutely.
And someday maybe I will get to meet him.
Yeah, you need to come down here and do another tour. We'll get the cameras out and I'll introduce you to everybody.
It's my own fault, but yeah, I definitely want to come down there.
We're busy, man. I get it. And by the way, we love talking lead around here. We appreciate everything that you guys have done for us. And so,
same here. It's two-way street, brother.
Right on.
All right, guys. So it's time to wrap up the show again. I hate it. This has been a fun show. I always have a great time with Chad. Chad, appreciate you being on, buddy.
Thank you. We didn't even have any beers or whiskey.
I know. That was the only thing that was missing from this one. Tell everybody where they can get in touch with Kel-Tec.
Absolutely. You can get us on all the social media. Kel-Tec is spelled KEL-TEC if you want to Google it. And you can find us on the YouTube. You can find us on the Facebook. You can find us on the Twitter and the Instagrams and all that stuff. And yeah, be sure you go on there and like our videos and say hi. Let us know if you got any questions, concerns, anything like that. We're more than happy to help you out. I do a lot of answering emails on Facebook, so if you go to our Facebook page, and you got questions, I'm usually on there at least once a week, so hop on and ask me some questions. But just real quick, if I can, I'd just like to thank a few sponsors of my team, and these are all people that are friends of ours, and probably several of them are friends of Talking Lead. So first, I want to thank Vortex Optics. Awesome company. Go check out them at vortexoptics.com. And all these companies have websites you can go to and show your support there. Go check out Warren Scope Mounts, Tandem Cross, Terran Tactical Innovations, Carbon Arms, definitely Freedom Munitions. If you're looking for some ammo that you want drop shipped right to your door, these guys will take care of you. Awesome ammo, excellent prices, and they're always showing some sort of a discount code up on their site, so take advantage of that.
I can attest to that. I bought some 300 Blackout from them not too long ago. Got a great deal on it.
Yeah, very accurate ammo too. I mean, this stuff it's awesome. It's the only ammo I use to compete with.
Oh man, this was Reload that I was using, and I was putting holes in holes.
Oh yeah,
with
all day
300 Blackout.
Yeah, and all their ammo is like that too. Check out shootsteel.com. These guys make great targets. They're a small company, family-owned, American-made, whole 9 yards. Shootsteel.com is awesome. Again, we mentioned Mike Santola and All-Star Tactical. Go get some snake oil, prime oil. This stuff's awesome. And high-vis sights. They sponsor my team. They take really good care of us. Excellent company. Those are the guys that I'm about to go out and see out in Wyoming for this law enforcement training. And they're eventually going to take me on an awesome elk hunt. So
cool.
I got to thank High-Vis and give them some props. And then, of course, last but not least, Rubber City Armory. Those guys do coatings for all of our barrels and a lot of the internal parts for our rifles. They also do coatings for other companies like Smith & Wesson. You see them, Smith & Wesson Slide & Barrel, they put that coating on there. So if you need something done like that, you're an up-and-coming firearms manufacturer, consider Rubber City, man. Those guys they're really, really good at what they do, really fast turnaround and amazing prices. So check them out.
Rubber City?
Rubber City Armory, yep.
Okay. I've actually heard of them.
Yeah, you'll see them up at Rock Castle. Chris Serino and the gang, those guys will all be there, and stop and say hi to them. They're awesome.
Serino's going to be up there?
They will try to get you drunk.
They won't have to twist too hard.
Yeah. What a great company, really great guys. So I try to give them some love too anytime I can. So, and of course, my favorite sponsor, Talking Lead.
Bam!
Go to all the social media sites. We're Talking Lead. Shooting a lot of 3-gun videos here soon. Like I said in the beginning of the show, we got some nice new cameras. There's gonna be a lot of antics. It's gonna be really funny, and so you can find that at our Kel-Tec pages. And as always, go up on Talking Lead. You'll see links to our videos and stuff there, I hope.
And a big thanks to our sponsors at ICE Training, icetraining.us. ICE stands for Integrity, Consistency, and Efficiency, the hallmarks of the programs, courses, and services provided by the company. ICE Training is a full-service company offering training to armed professionals and those interested in self-defense. ICE is owned and operated by Rob Pincus, the developer of the Combat Focused Shooting Program and the Professional Defense Video DVD series. ICE offers training in firearms, tactics, and unarmed defense, as well as consulting services for range operations, instructor development, and training program management. icetraining.us. And as always, leadheads, keep your loved ones close.
And keep your Kel-Tec weapons closer.
Your bullpups, baby.
You know it.
Chad.
Thank you, brother, and thank you guys for listening. I hope you had a good time.
Leadheads rule.